One thing I'm going to point out here, a lot of guys ran their best laps kind of mid part of the race. Um, Majeski ran his best lap on lap 43, Johnson on 53, Alex Prunty on 42, Fenhouse on 48, Mondyke and Stormy both on 45, and that's through your top 12.
Stand and wave and make some noise. It is
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the 127th edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast, featuring your Three Stones picker. I'm your Jack Mankel.
Gasman Cam.
Tire changer cam.
We got a fairly busy episode this week. The news, we had nothing last week, and we've got what looks like a phone book worth of stuff here today. Um, we're going to talk about the first race with the Midwest Tour for us up here at Slinger. They got kicked off at the world's fastest quarter mile. We're going to briefly touch on the storylines at Talladega, on ourselves a Wheelman of the Week, and we have a whole pile of nominees for that one as well. Look at the week ahead. The schedules are up, but we'll just kind of touch on that and get the episode wrapped up. That's on the agenda for today. As we're a day late, but that's all right. We're making it happen anyway. So, fellas, how have we been here now in just over a week?
Um, we'll touch on Slinger of the race itself, obviously, but I should note, got the first sunburn on the year.
Nice. Yeah, usually the shear coming up this weekend usually is good for like a good scorching.
Back of the neck is rough.
Yep. The last couple of years I've come out of the shear like medium rare red.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you see me kind of glancing to the side like I am now, I've got the Woo Gang late models at Independence on right now as we record here on a Tuesday. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So you got the late models going. Cam?
Not a whole lot. Um, Trying to think. Um, yeah, nothing terribly new for me. Um, I'm trying to think I gotta look at the calendar, what I did last weekend. Dude, um, yeah, nothing crazy. Yeah, okay. Friday night, cleaned out my closet. So, um, purged a bunch of clothes. So that was
you,
electric.
I'm assuming
Say,
you kept the old Bobby Pierce gear though.
I don't know any.
I'm surprised with such
That's
a big Bobby Pierce fan that you are.
Yeah, that's the old Jack man. He's a big BP 32 guy. No, I did racing section, obviously didn't get touched. Um, but yeah, outside of that, then yeah, just back into racing and nice weather. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this news. We got a whole pile of this stuff for you guys today. So we're gonna go ahead and just we're gonna rock through this. Try to make this as efficient as possible, just being there is a whole bunch of this for today. The first chunk here, we're just gonna start in the NASCAR realm collectively here and just kind of run through what we've learned in the last 7 days in the NASCAR world. Kyle Steckley joins Rafa Motorsports for select ARCA starts, primarily the three being Watkins Glen, Michigan, and Chicagoland. So making a move up for Steckley. Connor Zilic He'll drive the 71 Spire truck at Watkins Glen. Also running the truck race at Watkins Glen is going to be SVG. He is jumping in the 4 for Nice. So those two will be duking it out on the road course. Everyone's favorite, the old Cleater. He's back with RCR in the 33 at Nashville, May 30th in the O'Reilly series. So he's back racing with them boys. Daniel Dye. We previously mentioned him coming off of his suspension. He's run a couple ARCA races. He now has lined up 4 Cup races to run for Live Fast Motorsports. He raced the first one already at Talladega. He will also head to Pocono, Daytona, and then the second race at Talladega. So those will be the 4 races that comprise his Cup Series schedule for this season. In the NASCAR entity of itself, CEO and Chairman Jim France has relinquished his role and is now being replaced by current NASCAR President Steve O'Donnell. So, some more moves in the higher up within NASCAR. Along with that, Ben Kennedy has also been promoted as COO. So, some more movement on the administrative side or higher up side in NASCAR itself.
I'm going to add something here real quick to that. O'Donnell is the first non-France family member to be the CEO.
Yep. Yeah, interesting. So we're
So,
good. Yeah, a lot of change. A
and
lot of change.
this is obviously after Steve Phelps left not that long ago either.
Yep. Speaking of higher up big changes, Kubota joins NASCAR as the official tractor, construction equipment, and utility vehicle of the sport. So, we kind of wondered, right? We talked about Kubota kind of shifting their deal away from sponsorships with certain race teams or programs. Most notably on the dirt side, Hunt the Front was heavily supported by Kubota.
And
Um,
high limit.
and High Limit, we are learning very quickly where they have put all of their marbles. NASCAR.
Yep.
In another, this one, I think they start to dive into more driver team side of things. Kyle Busch, after 10 races, is getting himself a new crew chief. Andy Street will be on the box for him. Jim Pullman, who was his crew chief, will move into a leadership role within RCR's competition department. So it took 10 races and one top 10 for them to decide that they need to find something else to make speed. So they started with the crew chief.
That's how he's finding himself in the headlines,
Yeah.
unfortunately. If it's not on a podcast, that's the other way. Um, let's get into the head spinning team. Um, and if you don't know by now, that is Colleague Racing. And so they announced Clint Boyer and Jamie McMurray as free agent drivers in the Colleague truck. McMurray will run at San Diego and Boyer at Dover. So some savvy vets hopping behind the wheel of a Colleague all-star truck. Tyler Reddick announced this week before the race he's got a multi-year extension with 2311. Obviously talking about some of the figures that they're throwing out about the type of money he can make per year. Obviously, his stock's never been higher, so no surprise 2311 inks that deal and locks him up. So Reddick will be staying at 2311. Not happening this year, but a documentary. Wow, brain is not working on the double for Kyle Larson last year will air May 21st on Amazon Prime. So you should be well equipped with the amount of streaming services you have to watch a complete NASCAR schedule. So head on over to Amazon Prime to catch a documentary on the double from Kyle Larson. This guy likes to talk. I guess, yeah, I think he just likes to hear himself talk sometimes. But Stephen A. Smith He made headlines this week for not great reasons, but he's getting the wrath of the motorsports world for his comments over the weekend, um, saying that NASCAR drivers aren't athletes. So, um, and I don't know if anybody caught it today, or I hope this wasn't AI, but he said the only shop he's ever been in is Michael Jordan and Hamilton's.
Yes, that is a legit comment.
So I'm cautious throwing stuff out like that because you don't know what's AI these days and what's not. But yeah, so shows you his racing knowledge. So take his comments with a grain of salt. But switching a little bit over here for a dirt headline here. World Outlaws late models puts Shannon Babb on probation for 12 months for tire sample failure. Fine totaled 11,800 bucks. And then I don't know if anybody saw Shannon Babb put out a post on what he alleged and said that he did, which sounded pretty honest. Bought the tire from the tire trailer and used degreaser to get some of the new mold off the tire, and then they washed tire and tire tested positive for degreaser. So um, sounds pretty honest. Uh, yeah. Either way, sucks. Cost him $11,000 and a year of probation. So um, some news up here. Um, in the ASA Midwest Tour, Alex Gilhart has resigned from the Midwest Tour for personal reasons. Has a few irons in the fire, quote unquote. So, think you guys are a little bit more well versed in obviously in the Midwest Tour here and asphalt racing up here, and you guys are pretty gutted to hear that news. So, um, guess we're just sitting here patiently waiting for what his next move is going to be. So,
Whoever wherever he lands, it's going to be good. We'll just say
Yeah,
that.
they're gonna get a good one for sure. Whoever gets them.
yeah. Then on the ASA Stars, they postponed their Dominion race. They cited weather and outside circumstances might not reschedule the race there. Um, yeah, we were all in the group chat when that announcement was made last week, and just we're scratching our brains.
The wording was just a little weird.
Yep.
So
When
yeah,
uh when you get 11 cars for a Southern Super Series race, it's my 2 cents.
Yeah, an 8 finish because they piled a
take
couple up on the front stretch.
take that for what it's worth.
Yep.
And then another one up here, Tristan Swanson announces his driver development and rental program in a partnership with Miller Performance Motorsports, direct for legend cars. So, um, Tristan Swanson, guy up here that we see frequently, announces his driver development and rental program. That's all I
Um,
got.
Moving on to the rest of the stuff, as we'll say. Um, Bill Rose Racing and Conor Morrell have mutually parted ways. Um, no tentative plan for who's going to fill that ride for the time being, but they might just put all their baskets in the Jezrezek ride for the rest of the year. Um, Earlier this year, Anthony Macri obviously got involved in his wreck. But Casey Kane has been tapped to fill in for Anthony Macri for 10 Racing starting at Williams Grove this Friday. He'll be racing a few World All and high limit races, but basically it's going to be the PA, that Pennsylvania area is where he's going to be filling in at. So some Indy car and Indy 500 news. First off, Catherine Legge will attempt to run the Indy 500 for HMD Motorsports with AJ Foyt Racing. Jacob Abel will also be attempting the Indy 500 in the lone Abel Motorsports car. And then IndyCar announced plans to not allow open entries into races other than Indy 500 starting in 2027. I did kind of forgot that an IndyCar has a charter system much like what NASCAR has. So
Yep.
trying to drive value up on those. And then finally, in the sports car world, Acura is pausing, quote unquote, its IMSA program at the end of the year. No details as far as what current teams will be doing, but I would imagine some of those higher teams will find their way somewhere. So,
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the whole pile of news for the week. Covering a little bit of everything: NASCAR, dirt, sports cars, Indy 500, a little bit of everything. Let's go ahead and jump over to Midwest Tour getting their season kicked off up here in the Midwest. 2026 got underway. This event did not run last year, but it's back this year. They opened their season at the Slinger Super Speedway, world's fastest quarter mile. Cam, you were there. I watched virtually. But initial reactions.
track was gripped up. She was a little chilly that day, I will say. In the grandstands, super chilly. In the pits, damn near sweat my ass off.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll say that. Yeah, the pro late race, um, caution filled. We did end up sending a guy to the pits for being involved in too many cautions, if that tells you anything. Yeah, yeah. But when it all came and said and done, that pro late finish at the end of it, between Zach Reynolds and Dennis Prunty was a banger. Absolute banger. And I gotta give Riddle a ton of props. He ran that clean. Um, I don't know if Prunty mentioned it. I was kind of not paying attention during the interviews in between races. Prunty didn't have any brakes.
Yeah, was it front or rears? One of the
Front.
two.
He didn't have any fronts.
Yep.
So that drifted him up the track. That gave Riddle the advantage to get underneath them. And then I think Prunty got just outside the sticky stuff there on the high lane and got caught in some of the dirt. And you could see him kick out just as soon as he hit it. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, prolates again, good. Always put on a good deal.
Yeah,
Um,
that new 10-inch tire is interesting for them boys.
yeah, it is.
There's
Yeah,
a
it is.
lot of contact patch there for that prolate.
I tell you what, I was gonna throw a comment into the group chat, or I was taking a video at the time, and then he kind of fell off. Jerry Eckert, the oldest
Yep.
teenager was riding high on the top.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So they go from an American Racer 8-inch to a Hoosier 10-inch for their weekly stuff. So the boys got a lot of grip.
Yep, yep.
So
I did learn that they put sticky stuff down Saturday, did not reapply Sunday.
hmm, interesting.
So
Yeah, the
might be
finish was
finding a
really
little
good though.
magic.
Yeah, the finish was really good, and I think that was the part of side by side. They weren't going to wreck each other, and they both acknowledged after the finish in the interviews that they both gave each other room,
Yep,
and they both got to race instead of wrecking each other.
yep. Um, back to the field, in with squirrels.
Yep,
Front of the
first one of
field,
the year. Yep,
putting on a class act. So, um, but yeah, otherwise moving on to the Midwest tour side of things. Really the serious stuff came in the last chance race, where Bryce Miller ended up getting put in the wall. It's kind of a chain reaction deal. Bernhagen went up, shoved Race Hayes into the wall, which cutting back down turned Miller into the wall.
yep, yeah,
Yes.
yep.
The whole zigzag.
Yeah,
Happened to cut two cars back and took, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that was. And again, I think this is, we've asked the question: what does that guy got to do to get the monkey off his back with that
Good.
super late? If it's not motors, it's this.
Yep.
And this was, and unfortunately for him, this was nothing of his doing.
Yep. Yep. Just a
Just
hard
back
racing
there,
deal
it's
that,
just hard racing and just gets caught in the right rear, and that thing hit the wall, and it hit the wall a fair amount of ton.
yeah.
because that
Yep.
car came off the ground. So, um, yeah, that was what's a guy got to do to get the monkey off his back?
I got to
I,
give kudos to Bernhagen. He did tap, but obviously it doesn't help Miller out any.
Yeah,
no, because he's not cutting the check.
Yeah.
I will say this. I can't get the monkey off his back, but for what he could have done to that race car, I think that's best case scenario. For what happened,
yeah,
for him to go all the way around, and I know driver's side to the wall is not ideal, but he could have backed that thing, done a Majeski. Where was that when he backed that thing rear end
Madison.
square into the
it was
yeah.
a Madison. Yeah,
I mean, so it's not ideal. Um, and I don't know. I'm assuming we haven't, outside of piecing together what we have ourselves, haven't got an entry list for this weekend yet. Um,
correct.
Typically we mention it and they drop that shit while we're talking. So
I
we'll
I kind of was yeah.
we'll talk about it a little bit. But obviously we've had him on the podcast too, and Madison's you know home track, so to speak. And so I'm guessing he got that thing home on Sunday night and he's been working on it nonstop ever since to
Oh
try to get
yeah.
that thing ready to rock and roll for this weekend. But
Yeah.
I did, like you said, hate it for him that it happened. But all things considered, at least he's got a shot if he works his tail off, get that thing ready to rip. It could have been a Majeski at Madison where, hey, that just shuts you down for most of the year,
Yep.
to be frank. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, sucks. When you don't even got a shot.
Yep. But yeah, otherwise jumping into the feature race itself, for a Slinger super late model race, having one caution for a single car spin, pretty damn good.
Yeah. And when we talk about it, and we've said it time and time again, when the Midwest does what the Midwest does, late model racing, it would have been so easy to tear up a whole bunch of race cars and make that a little bit of a melee.
Yep.
We had one single car spin by himself that caught a little nose damage. And even after the race in the interview, and I don't know if you heard this or not, even Prunty had said, he goes, I don't know what happened to that car. We got to go through it. It got super loose. He goes, looking back on it, he goes, I should have just started and parked. So
Yeah.
he he said, I lost it by myself. That car got loose. So
Sure.
there were a couple other cars that didn't finish.
Yeah.
Pensauter
Stenjum
had,
Stenjum touched the wall in practice. Pretty much
yep,
started and parked that car. Billy Braun had his mechanical issues after 35, which was kind of in that same instance with Prunty. Joseph Schulte pulled down. Prunty, I believe, or not Prunty, Sauter ended up
yep,
having a broken A arm.
yep. He did say that in his interview as well.
RJ Brown pulled off early. Nason pulled off late in that one. I think flat, or I think he got lapped and they just kind of,
Shut her down. Yeah.
yep. So, and then
Wasn't didn't turn out to be a caution, but I forget what exactly it was, but Fenhouse on the last lap.
cut a tire.
Is that what it was?
Yep, tire.
Because the camera, he was just out of eye shot of the camera, and they had just panned, and you could see that car real slow off of four.
Yep. He cut a tire, and actually, Majeski also thought he had a tire going down at the end of that one.
Yep, he did say that as well in his post race interview too.
So,
I will say this: the 91 did what the 91 does.
yep,
The cream rose to the top in terms of the guys that when we talked in our preview, guys that were going to be there.
yep.
Majeski, Griesbach, um, Kraus always runs pretty solid. That's Slinger is definitely one of his better racetracks.
Alex Prunty.
Alex Prunty. The guys that we kind of had an eye on, they ended up there
Yep,
late in that race. Now, they were there. The 91 had that thing wrapped up by quite a ways, but when there was guys we were keeping an eye on, they found their way to the front. and didn't wreck any equipment in the process.
Yep. One thing I'm going to point out here, a lot of guys ran their best laps kind of mid part of the race. Um, Majeski ran his best lap on lap 43, Johnson on 53, Alex Prunty on 42, Fenhouse on 48, Mondyke and Stormy both on 45, and that's through your top 12. So
Interesting little tidbit.
little later on in the race there. Griesbach ran his best one on lap 3.
uh,
So I guess, yeah, kind of piggybacking off your guys' point. If I've ever watched a Midwest Tour race, and if you showed me this field of cars, and I put it in the group chat as expected, that's how I would describe this race in 2 words, as expected. And I feel like you can go right down the line from a Sauter being bad fast to braking and having to pull off to the Majeski just methodically working his way to the front and he's the car to beat to Griesbach being quick to Johnson running up front. Kellen, you touch on it, Derek Kraus. He's not, he hasn't got a win there, but you're going to consistently see him in the top five. Not,
yep.
doesn't quite have the next level speed, to keep pace
He's
with the 91. But hey, that is like now when you show up to Slinger, it's like, dude, he's pretty damn consistent there.
he's good when he's not tearing doors off of the car.
Yeah.
Well, and the bad part of that whole deal was he got caught. He got caught behind Egan on the initial start. He started fifth. I think it was fifth. And by the time he got out of the lane behind Egan, he was back to ninth or 10th.
Yep.
So you had your work cut out for you. Well, then you got the leaders all strung out single file because they got it themselves organized. And that was the same thing with Johnson. Johnson got caught behind Kraus, and they both got kind of caught on the outside. And again, instead of bullying their way in somewhere, they just bide their time because they knew they were going to have cars that were going to be decent. So, yeah, I mean,
I I think yeah, I mean, you keep going down the list. Gabe Summers being just outside the top five, he's rock solid in the Midwest wherever. Fenhouse would have been up there, which we all know what Fenhouse can do at Slinger. Um, outside
He
of
was fourth at the time.
yeah,
yep.
so outside of that flat tire, so I just feel like it was a race of as expected. Um, Ty Fredrickson starting a little bit deeper than anticipated there, starting 18th. Um,
Crawled his way up to 10th.
crawled his way up to a top 10. If there's anything that wasn't expected, I would say Kellen talked to me while I was talking to him on the phone there a little bit. The Nick Egan, um, the Nick Egan effort there.
Yeah.
What a lap he put down there. And yeah, ultimately he had that thing trimmed out for qualifying because he started fourth and finished 13th. So um, he put down a hero lap because you could see in that little dash there he had his hands full to say
Sure.
to say the least. But yeah, I just
There's only one way to learn, and that's do it.
yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like it's a race of as expected, good hard clean racing, and then you look at the finishing order and it's like, all right. You look at the top 10 and it's like, okay. If you showed me that entry list and you said pick your top 10, it's like I feel like most people would have those guys in the top 10. So
Yeah.
good, hard, clean racing. And yeah, Slinger is like Majeski says, he's just focused on putting down 100 qualifying laps. So
And the
Yep.
thing about it is, and that's what you mentioned, it's a good as expected, right? A 91's gonna be tough to beat wherever he goes. But it was good hard racing that those guys that ran the race, yeah, there were a few mechanical gremlins. 99% of those cars could change pieces and be ready to go tomorrow if we had to race.
Yep.
And I think that's the art of these guys working on their own stuff. And I think that's where we shine up here in the Midwest is that we don't, like I said, it'd be super easy to go into that place and just wreck a bunch of race cars because it is you're racing in a Super Bowl at 33
Yep.
degrees of banking. So it would be super easy to just go in there and smash a bunch of stuff up, but that's not what we do because we got
And
to work on our own stuff.
I would say, I don't know, this could be a little bit backwards how I'm going to phrase this, but our good and as expected for Slinger is like she's way up here. Like that's bees in a bee's nest there. And like those guys just going around there, like our expectations for Slinger when you throw a field like that, when we say expected, like it's better than average. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to undermine and say, oh, this was just the as expected, average race. No, our expectations when you throw those guys on that track is we got high expectations and they delivered. Um,
Yep.
Good, hard, clean racing.
Um, One point I want to make real quick. Obviously, you'd never expect this race to go caution free. But if that race would have gone caution free and listening to Griesbach on his interview, the just a fat kid from Wisconsin that likes drinking beer, um, it would have been interesting. Do I think he would have ultimately held him off? No, but it would have been interesting to see how long it would have taken Majeski to catch and get around Griesbach,
Yep.
especially to that point where lap traffic comes up pretty quick, getting and navigating that. That
Yeah. Sure.
His post race interview too. Was it that he picked the outside or did he pick the inside?
he picked the outside on the restart.
And when he picked the outside, Majeski picked the inside, and he he
That's that
basically said
instant, like, damn it, that was wrong.
he basically admitted that he made the wrong decision. Anytime you make a decision and the 91 does the opposite, he said he's like, yeah, the 91 knows something that I should know, but I don't. And yeah, so that was funny. But like you said, anytime you can run up there up front with like that level,
Oh,
that stacked of a field, like you said, that's all you could ask for. And
he's
again, no smashed up equipment.
he's figuring out that super late model. And as he goes to different places and starts figuring out those tracks, and he mentioned in his interview too, you got a possible full-time guy in the next couple of years on that Midwest tour.
Well, you know who his setup master is?
The guy that finished right behind him and was wearing his t-shirt.
Casey Johnson. So I can
Also,
just tell you,
live it up to the classic. You never wear your own merchandise.
correct, that's bad luck. Um, so I can tell you that car, when that thing was set up and ready to go, I'm just gonna tell you that thing was gonna be as ready as any race car in the field.
Yep.
So, yeah, good call on that. Yep, you never wear your own race shirt because that's bad luck. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, just a good old school Midwest super late race, to be
Yep.
honest. Late
100%.
model race in general. So yeah, like I said, a lot of those guys, a very good majority of them, can load up tomorrow and could go racing if they needed to.
Yep. A good example of the sticky stuff working as intended as well.
Yes. Yep.
So,
Two grooves of good racing.
yep. So, no, I enjoyed that race. I love Slinger. That's just a badass track, I think. Um, yeah, now we are gonna have two more big ones other than their regular super late model schedule that they got. With the national tour coming in on Father's Day and then the Slinger Nationals.
Yep. Running through your top 10 real quick. Uh Majeski's your winner, Greasebox second, Johnson third, Alex Prunty fourth, Kraus fifth, Summers sixth, DeAngelis seventh, Vandergeest eighth, Fenhouse ninth, Fredrickson rounds out your top 10. So those are your top 10 in terms of results for Midwest Tour at Slinger.
Yep.
So, all right, let's go ahead and jump over. Just kind of briefly touch on the storylines of Dega. I mean, I think the big one is obviously
The big one.
the big one. The big one is the big one, and then also the guy that crossed the checkers first.
Big
Uh,
save.
so I think those are kind of the two storylines coming out of this. I mean, at the end of the day, in reality, the first stage changing the length didn't change anything. You guys backing down to 54-second laps. Like the lap change didn't change it, the length of the race, no matter how you break it up, is the same.
Yep.
And the crew chiefs decided, yeah, that's cool. Go ahead and change it. It's not going to change what we do. You know,
Yeah, you guys weren't too fond of my idea.
NASCAR was playing checkers and the teams were playing chess. Like,
You said it was a 54-second lap.
yeah,
Fastest lap was a 48.2.
correct. At one point, they showed a graphic, and it's hard to believe, but it wasn't on the screen real long, and they were showing somebody's graphic, and they were riding around at 35% throttle. So that kind of disappeared very quickly, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go out there and throw this in there because Joey Logano says he's got a solution for this racing, but he won't say what it is.
I know what he's thinking. I know what he's thinking.
What's he thinking?
He wants to take the tapered spacer out of there and let's run 230 mile an hour around that track.
So if we're gonna keep the path we're going on, I mean, you guys weren't super fond of this, and this could open up into a whole different can of worms. But you got raise control up in the tower, all this jazz. But we got all this SMT data that everybody can look at and see where you're getting beat in the corner, what this person's doing, that person's doing, throttle trade, all this jazz that everybody's got. My solution was, all right, if we're gonna run, let's pick a percent. At first I said 75%, but let's go higher. 80, 90%. If you're running anything less than 90% for consecutive laps, black flag them or make them do a pass through penalty.
It's the
I,
reverse
be,
effect of the breakout rule.
but I mean, honestly, so we did this is the result we got. We created a solution that yielded us the same exact result.
Yep, NASCAR played checkers. The crew chiefs played chess. It's
And
simple.
I don't know. I'm sure if you said, hey, if we have somebody watching, and if you're for consecutive laps lower than 85% throttle, you're going to be black flagged. Like, then Kellen said, well, what are you going to do? Black flag the entire field?
I mean, it's
I guess
it's
bring them all
essentially
down. Those bring them all down because chaos happened on pit road there. But yeah, I don't know. We created a solution that gave us the same exact result. So
I
it's
mean, it's kind of the same effect in the O'Reilly series where you can't lock bumpers.
Yep,
You police it the same way, I guess.
yep.
and there's that video going out of the old Hurricane driving up through the field, and it is like,
It's like video game style.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And somebody else commented, not a casual fan doesn't realize this, but when the 78 machine is not in the draft and can drive up to the pack, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, this is supposed to be, if you lose the draft, you lose the field. But instead, we got single cars by themselves driving up to the pack, which, super speedway racing, that is not supposed to happen.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then the only other thing that really there was 35 cars that were involved in the big one. There's 5 cars that were in front of the wreck.
Yep.
And it was Bubba got either turned or was a late block in front of the entire field. There's
Um,
four cars that drove away from it. Like, no, there was some in the back that checked up that came out of it, but it was just it was melee. You looked at it and you go, "Oh, are we gonna have 8 cars finish this race and it's stage 2?"
yep.
Like that was the feeling.
I'm real quick. I want to bring up a point that I made in episode 118 of how we fix this. I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did in episode 118. You gotta take that spoiler from about here to about here.
Yep.
So, no, in the big one, like that's again another example of you can't like a bad push. right? Who was the guy that ultimately did said push? Chastain. You got Chastained.
Yep.
But if Bubba made a comment like, I obviously I didn't see the race. I was at another one. And
Yep.
didn't see the interview or anything like that, but he made a long line of comments of like, I got hit wrong or like with how these cars are.
Put it on the car, basically.
Yeah, it's just bad luck, right?
Yeah. It looked like a late block. It looked like a late block, but the push wasn't square. It just, I don't know. It was kind of in a vulnerable spot going into three. It was just kind of a little bit of the perfect storm of everything, really.
Yeah.
And then it was complete melee for guys just to finish the race, and that's the points racing conversation again. Just getting guys to finish. So ultimately, Hocevar gets out of there without having any damage, and that gives him a chance to try to win the race.
hmm Which again, I didn't get to see much of it or even follow on social because of being at the race. So
Yeah, they got organized. That bottom line got organized coming through three and four. They were behind going into three, and the couple Chevys behind him got organized. And then when they got to the tri oval, the 17 was leading the outside, and he got pushed kind of in a again as the tri oval kind of curved a little bit, and he kind of got loose, and then that wrecked the top line, and away Hocevar went.
yeah,
So it was just a push and a little bit of a weird spot. But when you can see the start finish, you don't really have a choice but to push. So
Speaking of that, running through your top 10, Hurricane gets the win. Hocevar, Chris Buescher second, Alex Bowman third, Chase Elliott fourth, Zane Smith fifth, Ricky Stenhouse sixth, Ross Chastain seventh, Austin Cindric eighth, Noah Gragson ninth, Kyle Busch 10th.
first top 10 of the
So,
year for him.
so yeah, and then I think obviously the storyline afterwards is the old Hocevar celebration. Um,
I hope it's a one
uh,
and done thing because it's like,
I'll just throw this out there. I don't know how that's banned because
It's not. They
I
said
I
it's
don't
not.
yeah, I know. I don't want to be the gruesome person here, but I don't know how it's not because it Buddy did that one time. He does that again, and Buddy for some reason falls out of that car and hits his head. In a
Yeah,
bad situation, really bad situation on her hands. But somebody else got a top five too that is, I don't know, feels pretty dejected was Alex Bowman. He gets top five, and in his post race interviews, they said, "Oh, you got it through without getting wrecked or with surviving the big one." And he said, "I can't take many more big wrecks or big hits."
yeah,
yeah.
But
Talk about being vulnerable in that space. That is the course. That is the story of Alex Bowman right now.
but obviously gets a P5 finish and or P3 finish and moved
I
himself
mean,
up to
the
36 in
Gluck
the points.
the Gluck poll did produce a winning yes, as it was a good race.
how much of that is also for Hocevar?
Well, yeah, I mean, the percentage, I believe it was 53-47, 54-46. Like Chase Elliott wins that race, who had a shot late in the race, might be a whole different conversation. But
Yep.
so,
Again, I
To
still think that's a fantastic celebration. One and done, not just because of the, safety aspect of it, but just like you can't make that a traditional thing, otherwise it loses its luster.
100%.
just lost it.
How bad you are.
One point I was going to make was an iconic video on social media right now is if you see the 43 Machina Legacy Motor Club, go to their social and see Carson Holisfar just bump Jones and it sends him wrecking. And the caption is "Hurricane got us." It is electric. It's in-car camera right behind whoever was pushing Eric Jones, and Hocevar is going, and he just bumps him, and it sends Jones off the screen. And Legacy posted the video, and it just says "Hurricane got us." So, anyways, that
Some
was.
you were talking about the Gluck poll. I'm gonna try and run through this real
Oh,
quick.
that's the other one. Yeah, Jeffy's struggling on the votes there. He thinks
50,
something ain't right.
55-5 was the last tally for yes. 17 out of 21 for Dega races, 8 for 9 for next gen races at Dega. Um, ranks 1 of 1 for Hocevar wins on the poll.
Shocking.
And then he comes in with a later thing. Apparently, Briscoe guesses every week what it's going to be. Briscoe said 60. So Bianchi won again, who guessed 40, or he guessed 54. Gluck guessed 46. Hamlin outed himself on actions detrimental as the mystery driver who told them it would be a 54 before the race started. So, yeah, some quick
Yeah,
tidbits there.
I just watched that video on Legacy's Twitter. He just comes down, poof, and shoots him right out of the camera view.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, that was good. But anyhow, any final thoughts on Talladega? Obviously, super speedway racing still needs an attitude adjustment of some kind, and obviously, changing the stages was not the answer. So we'll see.
Midwest is best.
Yeah, 100% what the case is there. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into the Wheelman of the Week. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a handful of these that are just worthy of mention. And, I don't know that they necessarily fit the bill of really what we're looking for, but some notable performances throughout the week. Um, we got them set in two tiers today. We've got 7 total. Your tier twos being Landon Lewis drives from the tail to win the Cars Tour late model stock race at Caraway. Devin Moran has an interesting Friday. Didn't make a lap and hot lap. Started on fire in the heat race. Won the A main by 5 seconds. Danny Bone wins the Smart Mod Tour race at Wake County. It's his third tour race of 2026 already. Gustin wins 3 in a row, including races with Mars and MLRA. Now, the top tier, there's 3 in the top tier. Corey Day wins Tuesday night at Eagle in the sprint car, turns around and wins the O'Reilly race on Saturday at Dega. Kosovar gets his first cup win. And then Ty Majeski wins a Slinger Midwest Tour race, his 41st of the series. He is 2 for 2 with the super late this year, including the Rattler in this one for just over $57,000 already. So, where do you want to begin this
I've
conversation?
got 2.
Okay.
Got one.
Okay.
Corey Day is my
Since I
first
get
one.
Corey Day. That's my first. That's my one and only vote.
Well, Kellen, should I give you my second, or are we just gonna go with it?
Who was your second?
Ty.
Yeah. Well, I could get it next week too. So,
I cast my vote for Corey Day because since we don't have a clear cut definition, as we always talk about every week, of what Wheelman is, for him to win at Eagle in a sprint car on Tuesday, and
yeah.
then hop in and go plate racing. And he hasn't made many friends in the O'Reilly series so far this year to get himself a win. Um, Plate racing, I feel like that's certified Wheelman.
I can go
I'm
for
good
that.
with that. Yep. I can ride behind that.
So
All right.
here's Here's my question for you, Kellen, because you set this up. You got this discipline thing going.
Yeah, I don't. We're gonna have to discuss that off camera. So we've been tracking, just for those listening, we've been tracking our Wheelman of the Week winner basically by name, and then the discipline, and then their series, right? So at the end of the season, we can compile. We had X number of different winners. We had X number of NASCAR drivers, dirt guys, however you want to look at it. So we're tracking this. So we got ourselves a little bit of a jiffy here because he won it in the sprint car and in the O'Reilly series. So my gut feeling says O'Reilly's because that's his primary,
Sure.
and the high limit is the part-time deal.
Do
But
we get a half a point in? Like,
I mean, we might have to.
we'll figure that out.
But yeah, we will figure that out as we go. All right. Schedules are all posted on social medias. Those went out on Monday at 11:30 or so. So those are all there. If you're looking for any series to watch, anywhere track, anywhere any of those series are headed to what racetracks, um, you can go ahead and catch those, check those out as well. We've got a couple we are keeping our eye on in particular. And unfortunately, our race picks are all going to fall. Those races are all going to go ahead and fall at the same time because they will all be on Sunday. So, looking at the picking order, so I think we're going to make three picks this week, correct?
I'm good with 3 picks.
So we're going to make three picks. We are going to pick the NASCAR Cup Series at Texas. Now, boys, we got to remember it's going to be a waxing crescent, so there's going to be a lot of grip. This is a real thing, guys.
Hey, you saw the door bumper clear clip then, didn't you?
Hell yeah, I did. Gregson was calling everybody. It's Chase Briscoe is sitting there. It's gonna be waxing crescent. What does that mean? A lot of grip.
Oh my God.
So Austin Dillon got that phone call, and he was hoping it was just a happy birthday phone call, but no, he can't figure that out, and that's maybe why he's not so good. So, speaking of him, I'll have the first pick for the Texas Cup race, and I will take the man from Door Bumper Clear. Give me Chase Briscoe.
Damn, it looks like you're up next for race picks.
Um, Denny Hamlin. I'm points racing right now.
I don't know what I want.
Just pick Blaney. It's a safe pick.
You know what?
It's been bad fast all year. And he just got that new sponsorship with cowboy boots.
I'm gonna go on a limb on this one. I'm gonna take a chance. I'm feeling frisky. Give me the Hurricane. Give me Hocevar.
Ooh,
Whoa.
ooh.
Whatever you did before this podcast, do it again because that's what we need to close this gap on these race pick standings.
Well, so you also realize what's coming up next year for
Yeah,
picks in
go
our
ahead.
picking order.
Yeah, so that falls into the Midwest Tour picks for the Joe Shear Classic 200 with the ASA Stars or Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Midwest Tour.
Easy. There you
If you,
go.
if you can get that out of your tongue twister going. If you look at a race previews tab, that's where those 20 cars are that I have compiled. So looking at that, you get the first pick, and obviously we've had the rolling rule. The 91 is out per the gentleman's agreement of the three of us.
Yep.
So go ahead and let's get you a little paralysis here.
Get me a little paralysis. Well, I'm on two drivers here, and I feel like whatever one I don't take, Cam is going to take.
Yep.
Give me Johnson.
Okay.
Cam.
Do you guys want me to get a little frisky?
You said you were points racing, but yeah, go ahead.
Give me Morrissey.
Ooh.
Yeah, he did not finish the race last year. Who did he get tangled up with? Him and Fenhouse, maybe?
Maybe.
Can't remember. He got tangled up with somebody, he didn't finish. Um, well, perfect.
You're gonna take the one that I didn't.
Yeah, you left me with the stat of the day. He's got two runner-ups and a third place in the last three times at this event. Give me Gabe Summers.
Yep.
A 200 lap Joe Shear Classic on a Sunday afternoon, and him, I guarantee it's he loves the podium. But I think he's you can't count him out. He's going to keep himself out of trouble, and he will be there at the end.
Yep.
All right, there's two of the three. Go ahead and pull up your Midwest Truck Series entries, and let's take a look at that. For each guy's going to grab a trucker for our pick, and you you guys left me with the first one for this. So
You set that up this way. There's some collusion here on this.
He needs it. Give him a break. He needs it.
um I think you know where I'm going on this one.
Are you
Yep.
wearing his hat?
Yeah, pencil her in. I'll take him. I'll
All
take
right.
Brandon. Yep. I was between him and one other driver.
Well, let's see if Cam takes this one other driver.
See, we got him potentially in the spin zone here a little bit.
I got two picks here.
Yeah, I'm down to, I got two here.
Three, actually, now that I see it.
Oh boy.
Give me that, give me that Chrome 97. Give me Swan.
Oh, he didn't go the way I thought he was going to.
That was the other one I had. That new truck is going to be fast, but
See, now all three of mine are still on the board here.
okay. So you're going to have Griesbach.
Yep.
I'm not even looking at the list. It's going to be Griesbach, Blake Brown,
Yep. Come on,
Chester
stats guy.
Chester Ace.
Yep.
Big numbers guy today. I am.
Man.
Depends. Are you a stats guy or are you a heart guy?
No, I'm going. God damn it. I want to go with the heart on this.
Just type it in.
Give me Greasebach.
All right. I figured you were going to go Chester Ace for sure.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we each got three drivers we're keeping an eye on across three different series for the weekend. So that'd be kind of interesting to see how that all shakes out across the course of the weekend. So all right, that's the one big one that we're keeping an eye on. We will be there for that one as well on Sunday. When the sun comes up, we'll probably be rolling in. The usually is our pretty standard deal. So we will be there on Sunday roaming around in the pits for that.
Got to point this out. Madison is offering free pit access to any for or advanced purchased tickets on Sunday.
9 to 11.
Yep.
You can wander around in the pits for 2 hours. So, yeah, pretty cool little deal. Kind of stealing a little page out of the high limit playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be. That'll be one we'll be obviously keeping our eyes on, as we will be there for that one in particular. So, that wraps up this week's edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast. As always, if you smash that little white logo down in the corner, it's free to do. It's free to do. If you hit the little bell, you also get notifications for when any of our content goes out in terms of race previews, shorts, posts, any of that stuff, racing related. So you get all of that. You can also check us out on all of our socials. We're starting to expand that realm as well, with a little more racing content from the social media side of things as well. So, but again, as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you all next week for next week's episode of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast.